Couple of quite significant developments in terms of the battle that's raging for control of the Daily Telegraph and its Sunday sister newspaper. This battle's been raging, as you say, for a few months because Lloyds effectively put the newspaper's parent company into receivership. Well, what I can reveal today is that the Barclay family, in the last couple of days, has written to Lloyds Bank to offer to repay its £1.15 billion debt in full. Now, that's a significant development because in the last few months, the Barclay family has made a series of proposals to Lloyds, ranging from about £500 million up until a £1 billion proposal to repay part of the debt was made last month. The family is now offering to repay that in full. And as I understand it, the bank will have to take this latest proposal seriously. The other interesting development today is that the Barclays' latest offer is financed by a new investor. That is a vehicle called RedBird IMI. Now, that name won't be familiar to most people, but what's interesting about that is that RedBird IMI is headed by Jeff Zucker. He's one of the world's most prominent media executives. He was the president of CNN for 9 years until he left early in 2022. So the fact that the Barclays have enlisted Mr. Zucker as a key financial ally in their attempts to regain control of the Daily Telegraph is potentially a game changer. The Telegraph is currently going through an auction process. As you said, it's attracted attention from the likes of the Daily Mail and General Trust proprietor Lord Rothermere, the hedge fund billionaire and GB News shareholder Sir Paul Marshall. But Lloyds will have to take this latest offer from the Barclays seriously, and if they satisfy themselves that there is sufficient funding there from the Barclay family to repay this debt, that could blow the auction of two of Britain's most influential newspaper titles out of the water.
It's so interesting, this, Mark, and as you mentioned, by the way, Zucker, of course, before CNN, used to be at NBC, one of the sister companies of Sky. But really interesting that they're now offering potentially to repay the full amount of the loan, because it raises the question whether they could have had these conversations months ago and not forced their bank, their lender, Lloyds, to put them into receivership. It also is a lot more than perhaps the other bidders, according to reports, usually your reports, are willing to offer. It was almost as if they had this outstanding loan against the Telegraph that was worth more than the Telegraph itself, so they let that loan get called in, and all the other bidders were offering 500, 600, maybe 700 million, but not the full 1.1 or whatever it is billion. So it's almost like they're bidding more than the papers are worth in order to get back control.
That's definitely been one of the mysteries of the Barclay family's repeated efforts to regain control of the Telegraph. I should add one caveat, which is that part of this debt is also secured against a company called Very Group, which is a big online shopping retailer. So it's not all secured against the Telegraph titles. We should also remember that the Spectator magazine is part of the Barclay family's media assets, which they're trying to regain control of. But that does go to the point, Wilfred, of whether Lloyds can really afford to turn this latest proposal down. And I think that if it can get comfortable with the idea that this money is genuine, with Mr. Zucker's presence in the process now, that suggests that this is a credible offer from the Barclay family. I think it's going to be very difficult for any other bidder for the Telegraph titles to come anywhere close to matching this latest proposal.